Merhaba. This is unfortunately the only word I can. Take a break. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm also honored to be here. I'm representing Baumit. We are not building houses. We are producing construction materials. I would say we are one of the leading companies in Europe and definitely a leading company in the facade construction here. We created this Viva Park some 10 years ago, and the question might be now why we are doing this. You know? And I guess there's already a clear answer. 90% of a day we are spending in buildings, in houses. I was also shocked when I was doing this, but after some short calculation, just resume the day to day. You're coming here in the morning, maybe a short walk from the hotel to here. It's really ending after probably 22 hours we are somewhere in rooms, and therefore this is that important. We were also talking about modern world, so this looks great from an architectural point of view. We are having all kind of creativities, yeah, great. But this modern world is also having some dark side of the moon, call it like that, because to live in those mega cities, and you know Istanbul is already one of these mega cities with 20 million inhabitants, but we're already talking about 13 millions in China, Far East, and more will come. So we are clearly affected by this traffic pollution every day. This is one problem which we are having. We are creating these transmission towers in the cities to have a better mobile communication, more and more electrosmog because of that. You were mentioning something in these houses, perfect ideal world for either bacteria or molds, which are growing here and there. And the reaction is clearly that we are having more and more allergies, reactions, and especially our kids. I even had my boys. I also had a passive house. I was really amazed about the heating system and the comfort we are having there, except in winter, because we were not using proper materials to do the something. Topic which we were mentioning is as well this climate change. Temperatures are getting higher and higher. I guess in this region it's quite normal to have 35 to 40 degrees, but even in Vienna, which is normally not known for these high temperatures, we are more and more facing that. And people are suffering that. Very old people are even dying because these days of high temperatures are getting more and more. So I mentioned already these 90 days being in here. We are a family-owned company, and the current owner of this company created also this vision. So we should not only build energy efficient and beautiful houses for our families, but also healthy buildings. Where we are having a really good environment and also for a sustainable future. I tell you a bit now about this Viva Park. I guess this is unique in Europe. What you see here are currently 13 small houses. We created 14 fundaments, and when he was visiting us some 3-4 weeks ago, he was asking, okay, what you will do with the 14th basement. Still no clue. But we are searching for all the time new technologies as well and how to build this up. So this park was created 10 years ago on a surface of 2,000 square meters. You see these houses are located in such a form that they do not influence each other, not creating shadows to the other building. They are standardized in the shape. This is 3 by 4 meters room. The interior surface, the height is also standardized, and what is also standardized is the heat transfer value of 0.15 when I was looking into your slide, so dramatic lower, except for 2 buildings where we do not have insulation to do some comparison. So the thickness of the wall can vary depending on the material which we are using, 25 centimeters brick, 50 centimeters brick, insulation outside in different thicknesses. So you see some pictures how these houses were built. On the right corner you see a typical Viennese style of building houses in the former century. So many small bricks, but thicker walls. And the right corner on the bottom, you see these aerated concrete blocks, Ilton blocks, also to simulate more this Eastern style of building house. A quick overview. Don't worry, if you are interested in, you can visit our homepage and there you can find it on the Viva Park. But just to describe it. So you see, out of these 13 houses, currently 2 are made with concrete, with different types of insulation, different types of interior plasters. It's 6 or 7 brick houses, one, for example, without an insulation. The inside wall is with a gypsum plaster, the other one insulated with lime plasters, etc., etc. Yeah? Also to simulate a bit this new modern style of buildings, we also have wooden frame houses. And to be quite natural, we also have a massive wood house as one of these houses and simulating this. So the reason for that is not to do this type of developments you're doing, but just to measure how the comfort in those houses will be for us as a human. So to simulate a bit the daily life, we are having an automatic system which is opening or simulating to open the window. This is done in summer 3 times, in winter 2 times. We are blowing some vapor in the morning to simulate the shower in the morning, the same in the evening, and also for cooking we are doing something at lunchtime. In winter it's heated, 21 degrees, remember this figure, and in summer we keep it just from the outside. Every 10 seconds different type of tables, physical ones, chemical ones, and to be absolute transparent and not to do our own, let's say, developments, we are in a close cooperation with many institutes. You mentioned Fraunhofer as well, but also a lot of universities which are getting this data on a permanent basis and doing evaluations together with them. Here you see some sensors, how they are looking inside, and they are in all these 13 houses the same. And also to measure some inside the wall factors, we are also having sensors installed in the different, let's say, thicknesses or transitions of that one. So that's the technique behind that one. What are the results and findings out of that? And once more, these are all the same houses. You see there's a window to the front, to the south side, on the eastern side, a door to enter it. And what we're also doing whenever customers are coming to us, it's approximately 5,000 a year, we are doing a tour around that and going to different houses to give them the feeling about the comfort. Yeah. Now we are talking about, let's say, 3 different things. It's like the outer skin of us, which we are really looking in. The one is the insulation, and we are believing insulation is absolutely mandatory priority, number 1. But then also the way of building the wall. Is it a massive building like a concrete wall, or is it a wooden frame with some insulation material in, or is it just bricks? And then clearly, what is the interior layer? Yeah, because this also has a huge impact on our comfort feeling. Baumit was even creating a logo for that, so healthy living, when you go into our product catalog, you might find this on different pages, which makes you really aware, okay, this is related to a better life in your house. What is having an impact on healthy living? You mentioned a lot imagery on that already. It's clearly the temperature. Some feel more comfortable with 19 degrees, some more with, let's say, 23, 24. We are not feeling comfortable when it's getting more than 26, 27 on a longer stage in a house, so we have to try to be in this range. Humidity, very important, and also having them some health impact. Smell. It can be even become critical if you have too much chemicals in the room. The reaction is then asthma, allergic reactions, which we are having. But also natural smell sometimes can be overdoing. Noise. Imagine you're living in Istanbul main traffic area. The noise from the outside is definitely affecting us. and smog, electro-smog as well. They give you just a few insights now into that one. Why is insulation that important? We all know that we are living here now in the cold area in winter, and you remember we said we are heating the house with 21 degrees. Having a proper insulation, the temperature in the house is quite stable. No matter what is happening in the outside temperature, this is stable and not disturbing us too much. You see here the two brick houses, 25 centimeters. One is with an insulation, the other one without an insulation. And without insulation, you see how the temperature is varying just because of typical winter conditions. We're talking a lot about winter, and in winter it's clear we have to heat. More and more problematic we see summer, because it's getting hotter and hotter, and people are considering to install air conditioning systems more and more, which is again a lot of energy which we're consuming. And how is an insulation then working in summer? And you see here the same two houses. You see the variance. This was done in 2016 in Austria. So there maybe was not this high temperature that we're having today. But again, the temperature was quite stable in a range of maybe 3 degrees over this 1 month. And it's not even going above the 24 degrees. While on the right side, this uninsulated house, you see the variance. Again, in some days it's even going down to 16 degrees or 18 degrees here. But in some days, when it's outside below 24 degrees, it's even going above that one. So the spread is even more. And you mentioned this as well, Dimitri, surprisingly. We are not feeling comfortable in a house when the wall behind us is having a much, much lower temperature. And we are saying approximately 4 degrees is the maximum temperature difference we should have. And again, you can see here, in a good insulated house, the wall is maybe having a temperature around 20 degrees, 19 degrees. Inside room temperature is 21, while in a non-insulated house you're talking about 15 degrees versus 21 degrees. So therefore, this insulation is really, really important. Second part is humidity. Temperature is clearly also having an impact how much humidity or water you can keep in the air. And when you now look into this one, you also see that there's an optimal range for humidity. We are saying between 40 to 60 degrees. If the air is getting too dry, you have more and more bacteria in the air, more and more flu, which is coming. If it's above this 60%, you're starting getting mold. We might see this very often in bathrooms where you don't have a proper air conditioning or air exchange, and the humidity is very high that you're starting getting mold. Again, in an insulated house, the range of temperature is very stable, therefore also the humidity is staying in this range of 40 to 60%, while an uninsulated house, humidity is jumping quite dramatically. So therefore again, and I know that you just installed a new law last year or this year that even in the very hot areas you should install an insulation. My recommendation clearly do this, and even think to do it a bit thicker than this 5, 6, 8 centimeters you're currently talking about. How can the interior coating influence the room climate? You were talking a lot about today about clay, which I find a fantastic thing because again it can, how I call it, it can take up the vapor from the air, it can give it back to the air in very new technologies like gypsum boards, and I'm not against gypsum boards, don't get me wrong, but their way of taking up water vapor is almost zero. And if you live in a passive house like I did, you really feel that in winter they all of a sudden have less than 30% humidity. So therefore, having proper wall coating inside is also very, very important. What you see here are two concrete houses. The one is just concrete and a paint. And the the second house is a concrete house with a plaster, a lime plaster, which is really very, very good for this humidity compensation. 1.5 centimeters thick. We are calling it Baumit white, which is a signal for this healthy climate in the room, and this is really compensating the humidity. We were also talking a bit about VOC factors, and we have one of these houses which is made of massive wood. And when you enter this one, it's really like you go into a sauna or in a forest where you feel this, let's say for us, good fresh air. The problem is this house is now some 8 years old. When you still go in, you feel this, you smell this. And the problem is that the VOC values are dramatically high. This is what is shown here on this very right side. And even after different period of time, it's slowly dropping, but it's an issue. The good thing is concrete houses, brick houses with their VOC factors are really very, very low, so this is not an issue. Maybe there's a good message here as well. How is the wall material influencing the climate? And we were talking a lot also here today. And it's, I would say, not a surprise that a very massive building, a massive house, is also good in terms of protecting against heat or storing the heat in both directions. What you can see here is on the one side a concrete house with plaster, so the weight per square meter is almost 9 times higher than from a wooden frame construction without plaster. And you again, you see the variance of the temperature you're having because this thick mass of the concrete house is definitely much better compensating. Another comparison we did under the different houses is here again the concrete house with a 14 centimeters insulation. You have an outside temperature for quite a long period of 36 degrees. I would say this could be a summer here in Izmir. The room temperature is only getting 24 degrees. Yeah. On the contrary, having a not insulated brick house, 25 centimeters is already something. It's going up even to 30 degrees. But also a wooden frame construction with some insulation is going up above 29 degrees. So not really giving you the comfort anymore you would like to have. What we were also doing for a winter simulation is a blackout scenario. You might know we were all quite nervous in these early 2020s what is happening if one of our net grids would have a breakdown. Again, we were simulating for 48 hours, bringing no energy in the houses. And the temperature was dramatically dropping in the non-insulated houses from 21 degrees to below 10 degrees. So below 10 degrees, I guess you would do everything to survive somehow. While in the very thick, massive houses or the very good insulated houses, you stayed on a temperature level, let's say, down to 17 degrees, which is still unpleasant already, but you can survive somehow. Also, when you then see how fast the temperature is coming back in an insulated house, it takes you a couple of hours, 1-2 days, and you're coming back to the comfort you would like to have. I guess they are one of the last slides now. So noise. The more massive the house is, the better it is. So again, we are talking about concrete walls in a city or a full brick wall with 51 centimeters. This quite good. Again, and here the value of 40 to 49, these 10 units, is making a double noise feeling. Yeah? So with 40 you feel it double loud as in the house with 49. Guess this is one of the last figures. Electrosmog. I guess more and more we will look in future to protect ourselves against the electrosmog. Yeah? Some starting already switching off the VLAN network in their house. But again, you're surrounded by this electrosmog coming from everywhere. So how to protect yourself in the best way? Again, it's a very massive wall which is helping here a lot. Again, concrete, full brick house, but also the massive wood house in this aspect is very protective against electrosmog. Yeah. So these are facts and figures, and again, as I told you, 33 sensors every 10 seconds measuring that, sending this to the millions of data, having that. For us, the most important and the most impressive thing was the feedback of our customers, because as I said, every year approximately 5,000 customers are coming to Wopfling to visit the factory, so you're also invited. And we're doing the tour, and they're going to the different houses, and they're ending up normally in one house, and after that they are saying, wow, I'm really impressed going into these 4 different boxes, what difference it is, and I would like to stay in this one specific house. And surprisingly, this house is a brick house, which is insulated. We are using this lime plaster inside, this 1.5 centimeters, which is really giving you this comfort. Very often what is also done when you do then the final painting on the house, you do everything to have a super wall, you have a super coating of that one, but then you take the cheapest paint and just roll it on. And this is like putting plastic film on all that, so the breathing is gone. So also take care that you have a good color which is breathable and allows you to give that. And this is when they are saying, okay, wow, yeah, this is the house I would like to live in. So we are building fantastic houses, very, very modern, in all different styles, in different continents, different areas of Europe as well. Please don't ignore this physics as well, and really a good insulation is the best recommendation I can give to you. And then think about the interior coatings. This makes the climate in your house totally different. Thank you.